Oh, going live, testing.
I want you to get up now. I want all of you to get up out of your chairs. I want you to get up right now and go to the window, open it, and stick your head out and yell, "I'm as mad as hell, and I'm not going to take this anymore!"
Good morning, everybody. Welcome to Smyth Radio. Your host, Brian Smith, giving you all the late-breaking details of yesterday, kind of wrapping it all up, telling you what's going on the Twitter sphere, helping you out and understanding what's trending, what's not trending. And also, we are going to do a special edition today, and that's because yesterday we had some major malfunctions, technical difficulties beyond belief. I greatly apologize to all our listeners, and we believe that is in the past. We are beyond that, and looking forward to a great show today. So obviously, and I'm not going to rehash, I'm not going to go over all the details of the debate. You're probably done with the debate mentally, especially after yesterday. It's just every single person talked about it. Rush had a really good show yesterday, and he had an incredible analysis. If you want to go back and listen to that, that'd be really good. I listened to Sean Hannity last night on his radio show, and he had a liberal on, female, that was voting for Hillary, and I was just beside myself listening to her when she's saying things like, well, I couldn't vote for Donald because of all the lies and the lies that he tells. And then I see some people and not many at all, but some people on the Twitter saying, yeah, Donald's lying again, he's all about his lies. And then the Rolling Stones magazine came out yesterday with an article saying, oh my goodness, Donald's such a liar. He lied to 80 million people. And then he went backstage to the spin room and then lied some more, and he lied. And so I started reading the article, the Rolling Stones article, and got into it a little bit more. And what they're saying is a lie. That Donald Trump lied. They're saying because Donald Trump, as Hillary Clinton was bashing Donald Trump over the head with the tax thing, and you don't pay taxes. You didn't pay any taxes at all. And as she was rambling, Donald kind of interrupted, kind of like threw it in there, like talked over her and told her, said, well, when she said you didn't pay any taxes, he's like, well, that was smart. That's smart. I know what he's saying, and I understand it. You and I, middle-class America, we understand it. Let me ask you, folks, if I told you there was a way to not pay taxes, would you listen up? Of course. I would too. Trump said what he said, knee-jerk reaction, because they're lying about him, and he just knee-jerk, well, that's smart not to pay taxes. Yes, it is. If there's a way for you to avoid taxes or cut your taxes, because we're all being taxed way too much, if there's a way to do it, then do it. So that didn't hurt him at all, because you and I, the common folk, the average everyday American citizen, we understand where he's coming from. I'm telling you, he's a billionaire, but when people look at him and when people talk to him and hang out with him, you don't get that feeling from him. I mean, the whole debate, Hillary was talking down to him and referring to him, Donald, well, Donald this and Donald that and Donald this. And it's frustrating because that's what the left does. The left elites will look at everyone and talk down to them. Trump doesn't do that. He doesn't talk down to anybody. And so he said in the debate, that was smart not to pay taxes. So he gets to back in the back room, the spin room, immediately announcing that it was a great debate. I enjoyed it. He did make a comment to Jesse Waters on Waters World. He's the guy that goes on assignment for Bill O'Reilly, and he did make a comment that something was wrong with his mic, like he had a bad mic. It's very possible, very, very possible. There was a lot of strange things that were going on with the debate. I talked about this yesterday for almost 45 minutes, and I'm really sorry, folks. Like I said, it was 45 minutes of a show that for some reason just didn't air, didn't record, didn't go live. Take your hits and move on. So a lot of things that went on in the debate that were underhanded, rotten, crooked, sleight of hand, moving around. Apparently, during the debate, people could see Hillary and Trump on a big screen, and the producers enlarged Hillary to make her look bigger, which I thought was really shady. Also, she wore red, all red, and I got this from somebody on Twitter, a guy who studies people, human anatomy, or not human anatomy, human culture, colors. What do colors mean? People's reactions, how people carry themselves, and he made the comment that red while playing soccer, if a goalie is wearing all red or mostly red, the goalie has a better chance of intimidating the opponent coming at him with the soccer ball. I had no idea. It's human psychology. I think it was pretty interesting, and so Hillary used that to her advantage, which is fine, whatever. I'm just kind of laying it out. But Trump did complain that his mic wasn't working very well. There was a third debater, in case you didn't see that last night, happened to be the moderator. He went Candy Crowley on Trump 5 different times. And then the biggest glaring thing that was out there, even Waters mentioned it. That, do you think that the moderator was unfair? And Trump's like, no, it's okay. I mean, he does what he does, you know. So Trump wasn't bothered by it, which was good. But the biggest thing that the moderator was so wrong about, that everybody talked about yesterday, was the whole thing about Iraq. Folks, I thought this was settled. Everybody knew that Donald Trump literally was the only one who was not for the Iraq war. However, the moderator never brought up that Hillary was for the Iraq war. She signed off on it wholeheartedly. All the money, all the the lives that were lost, the trillions of dollars that were spent, all that for nothing. And then this was brought up, coincidentally, kind of thrown to the side when Trump made the comment that it was Obama and Hillary that actually literally created ISIS by doing 2 actions. One, by telling ISIS we were leaving Iraq, giving them the day that we were going to be gone. And then 2, by Hillary teaming up with Al-Qaeda, which is a terrorist organization, funding Al-Qaeda, terrorist organization, dumping mass amounts of weapons and supplies, military supplies, on a terrorist organization, to then go in and dethrone, destabilize, completely upend Libya and remove Muammar Gaddafi. I'm not quite sure why she thought in her mind that it was necessary to remove Muammar Gaddafi at that point in time when Muammar actually handed over to George W. Bush all his weapons of mass destruction, or at least he said he did. He said he was done with it. He said, okay, I'm walking away. Yeah, Muammar's a bad guy, but he lives in a bad world. And he rules with an iron fist, and that's just how they do it over there. Saudi Arabia, exponentially worse. There's a documentary on Netflix about it. So criminal. Saudi Arabia is ISIS. ISIS and Saudi Arabia, synonyms. Same thing. No change in anything else. As a tourist, you can't go into Saudi Arabia. Saudi Arabia is cutting heads off in the middle of streets, flogging people in the middle of the streets. You don't talk back against the government. Don't talk out against anybody. There are police walking around everywhere, even in the malls, to make sure everybody stays in line. Women stay in line. Women stay dressed. Okay, Saudi Arabia is ISIS. Sorry, folks. A lot of information I got to get out here. Hillary unthrones Muammar Gaddafi, creates an entire vacuum, and then all of a sudden ISIS moves in. It's just the entire country of Libya is in, if you will, a civil war, an upside-down world where nothing makes any sense. It's so bad in Libya. So bad. It is 100% Hillary's fault. It is so bad in Libya that they're an oil-rich state that people, companies or countries that want to purchase oil from Libya, they don't know who to pay. They want the oil, but they don't know who to pay for the oil. Unlike Iraq, where ISIS has taken over, ISIS receives the money for the oil. And Trump talked about that. Trump said that's why ISIS has become so powerful, is because of all the money that they're making on the oil that we should have taken, or at least protected and held in our possession. ISIS has received all the military supplies, every single thing, from all the M16s to Hummers to small tanks to light vehicles, everything you possibly imagine, military-wise, that's U.S. military grade. Everything that we have that's high-end, night vision goggles worth thousands and tens of thousands of dollars, huge amounts of supplies, all that stuff left by the Iraqi soldiers we trained to protect their country. When we left, when Obama pulled us out, they immediately looked at ISIS in the eyes and said, "Ooh, sorry guys, we didn't mean to cross you," and walked away. You can't give freedom to people who won't die for it. That is the only way to get freedom, is to die for that freedom. And we had so many people die in this country for that freedom. Okay. Now, Hillary made the comment about how our troops were pulled out and how Obama was forced to pull them out, and there was nothing we could do about that. It was a forced thing. Okay, real quick. We were going to extend the contract for our troops to stay there, for us to protect Iraq. They were in negotiations with the country of Iraq for protection of our soldiers while they were in Iraq. Meaning, if me, as an Army guy, I was in the Air Force, but even in Air Force, okay, I was in the Air Force, and say I was stationed over in Iraq at one of the local air bases or one of the airstrips, and we do work on, in the machine shop, we do work on some of the F-16s. Okay. I'm trying to think of a good example, and this is going to be a quasi-example. Okay, say there's a situation where somebody breaks through the gate and starts to run across the field with a gun. And I happen to see that, and I'm in the shop, and I have the ability to alert the authorities or tell the authorities that somebody's broken through, it poses an imminent threat. So the MPs, military police show up, handcuff the guy. Maybe they get into a scuffle and the guy fires off a couple rounds. We fire off some rounds and we kill him. Okay, in that scenario, we were in the negotiation process with Iraq to agree that in that situation, our troops, our American troops, would not be tried in Iraqi courts, not be held to Sharia law, not be held to any kind of Islamic law. Nothing of the sort would be true. It would be Americans on American soil, Americans be dealt with American laws, or UCMJ, the Uniform Code of Military Justice. And for some reason, they couldn't agree to that. They couldn't come to some kind of agreement. a contractual agreement on that. And I blame that solely on Obama. I mean, look at all the agreements that he's made. I mean, from the whole Iran deal, that's just absolutely absurd and insane. They're talking $39 billion that he's given. No, it wasn't $400 million. It wasn't $1.7 billion. They're saying that there's money that he's been given to them upwards to almost somewhere in the neighborhood of $36 to $39 billion he's given to Iran. So you want to talk about some bad deals. That's a bad deal. Obama hasn't been able to get any good deals done. John Kerry hasn't been able to get anything done good deal-wise. And so that's the nut and shell. They couldn't get the deal done to protect our troops, so by default, they had to pull the troops out. So it's still their fault. It's still I'm wholeheartedly blaming this administration, blaming Hillary Clinton, Secretary of State, blaming anybody who was involved in negotiations. They couldn't get that thing done. You don't have the foresight to understand that if we pull out and the enemy knows that we've pulled out, you don't think that they're going to come in and fill that vacuum? Man, you got to be able to negotiate even better than that. You cannot, one, you can't walk away from the table, but two, you can't let them know that you can't walk away from the table. You see what I'm saying? You cannot show your game face and let them know that you cannot walk away from the table for them, because then they'll take advantage of you. And they took such a great advantage of us that we actually did walk away from the table, created a vacuum in Iraq. All those military weapons went to ISIS. ISIS then started moving into Syria, and with Hillary's help, funding Iraq, or funding Al Qaeda, and moving more of the growing ISIS and moving into Syria and to Libya. She is an absolute nightmare and an utter mess. And the moderator tried to help that out. Try to cover all that up. Make that like that was no big deal. Let's not talk about that, Trump. Come on now. We got to move this way. It was despicable. It was disheartening. I've heard a lot of people tell me that, Trump should have prepared more. He should have been more ready. I don't know what you want him more ready for. That's just, he was who he is. He was nobody different. And that's another thing. He's not changing for anybody. He didn't change at one time during the primaries, he did try to change and tone and kind of become something that some people wanted him to be, and realized quickly that was not working. He needs to be himself. We don't want a politician. We don't want somebody fake. We don't want somebody sugarcoating it. We now need grown-ups and parents running this country. The kids have been running the country way too long, and it's become Lord of the Flies all over again. If you haven't seen the movie, see the movie. It's a great movie. Lord of the Flies, where all these children are stranded on an island, a deserted island, literally wind up becoming savages and just savagely beating each other and bullying each other and just out of control. And that's what we got up in the White House, up on Capitol Hill. The children are running around out of control, and it's time for Daddy to step in, crack the whip, get tough, get mad, get heated, and pull these people in line. And the ones who don't get in line and realize that this is what has to happen, those are the people that get out. You got to get rid of those people. You start with the Republican Party, start getting rid of those people that won't get in line. Lindsey Graham, John McCain. Some of those folks need to get out, need to go away. Okay, so I digress. I didn't finish the whole Rolling Stones article story. Okay, so Trump goes to the spin room after the debate and said, pronounced that he won. And it trended all night last night. Trump won. If you typed in hashtag the letter T, first thing that showed up was Trump won. Ironically, that disappeared in the middle of the night right after Trump thanked everybody for Trump won trending. And then Twitter took it down, disappeared. Then it came back, then it disappeared. It's really strange. So the Rolling Stones reporter is in the spin room with Trump and just blasting Trump in his article about being backstage, announcing that he won when clearly he didn't. I'm like, the only person who clearly said he didn't win was CNN, and that is the only poll. Literally 19 polls to 1. 19 polls said he won. 1 poll said he didn't. So the Rolling Stones is listening to Trump speak, and as Trump's speaking, something came up about his taxes and about how much tax he paid. He's like, yeah, no, I paid taxes. Of course I paid taxes. It's not the point. But, and then on and on and on. And so the Rolling Stones say, look, oh, see, you're a liar. You lie. I told you you're a liar. You lied to 80 million people. You said you didn't pay taxes. Now you say you pay tax. You liars. I'm like, whoa. Come on. We're talking about, here it is, the definition of a lie. A lie is knowingly, falsely saying something like, we are going to get the filmmaker who made the film that caused the riots in Benghazi and to kill Ambassador Stevens. After they raped him, then they killed him. Men, Muslims, Muslim men raped Ambassador Stevens in the streets and then drug him through the streets, murdered him, with 3 other American citizens, and tell the world everywhere that it was the filmmaker. We're going to get the filmmaker. We're going to arrest him, and that is it. It's the filmmaker. To say that, knowing, because before she even said that lie, she emails have come out by WikiLeaks. Thank you, WikiLeaks, Grucifer 2.0, and Grucifer, whichever one it was that came out. The emails show that she emailed her daughter, Chelsea Clinton, and said that it wasn't. She didn't say it was a protest. She said that the base was being overran and it was being attacked by Muslims, by Islam. So she knew it was an attack on Americans, on American soil, which is the base there in Benghazi, that requested help repeatedly, and she denied the help repeatedly, ignored that, and ignored sending help, had no clue about it when they asked about certain things that were going on and using terms that military personnel uses, and she had no idea, had no clue what was going on, but she knew it wasn't the filmmaker, yet she said it was the filmmaker. That is a lie. Donald Trump, to respond to somebody saying, you don't pay any taxes, for him to say, well, that's smart. You're not lying about anything. No, it is smart. It's smart. If I don't pay taxes, that's smart. And then he goes back in the spin room and he's like, I do pay taxes, obviously, but I pay a little amount of taxes as possible. For the Rolling Stone magazine to make that a huge smoking gun saying that he's a liar, it's just, it shows you how desperate they are to help this woman, to help prop this woman up. Something else about the debates. After the debate was over, there was, I've got a video up on Facebook.com/Smyth Radio. You can go see it. It's called the Cleaner. Apparently, after Hillary stepped out from behind the podium, she started walking to the edge where the steps are. And boy, she was moving real stiff-like. When she got to the steps, she took one step at a time, as if she could lose her balance at any moment. She got in front of the crowd, or in front of some friends or people, and started to lean down a little bit in front of people. Secret Service immediately put his hand underneath her arm, preparing himself, because he knows what happens. When she starts to tilt forward, she goes down. And he couldn't allow that to happen. on camera at the debates. Couldn't let her go down. And I bring that up because obviously she has gone down so many times. It's like that. It's like that dog that's been beat so often that when you put your hand down to pet him, to pet his head, he instantly, recoils and he jerks back and he lays down on the ground like he's getting ready to get beat. Yeah, that's the Secret Service. They're the ones that as soon as they see Hillary move, they're instantly knee-jerk. Oh, she's going to fall. Oh, got to be there. She's going to fall. Okay, so anyways, as soon as she's doing that, in the video, if you look back in the background, and it's all out there on YouTube now, there's a guy who walks up to her podium immediately and grabs a stack full of papers and walks back around and stays hidden and kind of stays off camera. But you clearly see that she had a stack full of notes, stack full of information. They're saying right now, that it's confirmed that they've got information, that it is confirmed that Hillary was using an earpiece. She was using assistance. When she bent over to see people in the crowd, you could see in her red suit, you can see her bra strap, and then you can see what looks like a battery pack, for like a mic, a battery powered mic. And it's just like, come on, man, really? This woman couldn't tell the truth if her life depended on it. I'm serious. There is nothing that she won't lie about. Even Colin Powell, who helped her lie and cheat to get her email server set up and actually told her how to do it, how to circumvent the government. Yeah, that's all on email, and he denied it. And so Grucifer went ahead and hacked Colin Powell's Gmail account and found more information. So don't go lying, man. Don't go lying. Just tell the truth. But anyways, Colin Powell even made the comment. He said if Hillary would have come out very early, as soon as this broke, as soon as this happened, if she'd have come out first off and said, hey, I'm sorry, I apologize, this was a big, big mistake, and take ownership of it then, he said this probably would have blown over, not that big, been that big a deal. This has become her absolute worst nightmare. This email thing, it's telling the truth on all these liars up there on Capitol Hill. All these politicians who cannot, for the life of themselves, tell the truth about anything or anybody. It's despicable. And then this woman, this other thing that just came up last night. This woman who, back 20 years ago, was Miss Universe pageant in one of Donald Trump's pageants. Okay, so she won the crown. And within 9 months, she gained 60, 70, 80, 90 pounds in 9 months. Folks, if you're in your early 20s and you think back to your early 20s, how hard was it to gain 90 pounds in your 20s? Usually it's not that hard. I'm sorry, it's not that easy to gain 90 pounds when you're in your early 20s. Usually you're pretty active, you're moving around a lot, and you got a lot of things going on. But in 9 months, it's unbelievable. So Trump made a comment, said, man, you're an eating machine, which is funny because in order to gain 90 pounds in 9 months or 60 pounds in 9 months, you would have to be an eating machine. You would literally have to be forcing yourself to eating nothing but bonbons and donuts daily. You would probably be in very bad health as well. So anyways, apparently, according to her contract, to keep the crown, she had to keep her figure and keep her shape. It's part of the pageant. It's part of the contract. That got nothing to do with me, nothing to do with you. It's not sexist, not racist, not homophobe. That's what she agreed to them to do. She was in fear of losing her contract, so she started dieting. Well, come to find out, CNN originally started to fat shame her. Yep, they fat shamed her all right, and some other people started to fat shame her. Well, apparently yesterday, Hillary Clinton brought her out, toted her out, and said, see, look, Donald Trump fat shamed her. Look, she fat shamed her. Look how he treats women. He said she was an eating machine. CNN fat shamed her. Other people fat shamed her. Come to find out, Hillary, she got pregnant. She went from beauty pageants to other things, to adult film industry. She had some issues with her lifestyles. Got pregnant by some drug cartel, some drug lord or whatever not. Had the baby in America, became an anchor baby for her. It's not good. A lot of things going on with her is not good at all. And then information surfaced that Hillary has paid her tens of thousands of dollars for other things and whatnot. So she's on the dole, on the payroll. And who was it? Ann Coulter last night tweeted out, said, did the DNC or did Hillary's camp, did anybody think to look at Wikipedia and look this girl up on Wiki? Because when you do, it's a train wreck. And I'm sorry, folks. This woman's life, now another woman. Life is destroyed because of Hillary Clinton. Another woman's life is destroyed. And it's even further destroyed. I'm telling you, they were piling on this woman left and right. This woman has no idea what she just did. She stepped in a hornet's nest like nobody's business and didn't realize that it was all going to explode and backfire and blow up in her face. And it has. It's blown up just immensely. And it's been a very sad situation. And if you want to play ball with the devil, you're gonna get the horns eventually, and that's what she got. So it's pretty bad. Hillary has destroyed many women's lives over and over and over again. It's really, really sad to see what this woman's done. Some other information came out last night. On a side note that not too many people are talking about. Back when Hillary Clinton was Secretary of State, there was a staffer, a young girl staffer named Monica Hanley, Hanley, and she was a real go-getter, and she was on top of it. She was in there, and Hillary brought her in as a close confidant, and whether she spilled the beans, Monica spilled the beans, or it was emails that were unearthed. Oh, it's a sad state of affairs. Hillary Clinton was an absolute bumbling fool and addicted to blackberries. Not food blackberries, but the actual phone, the crackberry as we called it. She couldn't use any other phone. She didn't want any other phone. It had to be the BlackBerry. So every time she lost one, this girl would be sent out. She said she went to local malls looking for Blackberries to buy a Blackberry for Hillary Clinton because she lost one. She lost another one. I'm telling you, this woman is so incompetent. Not only is she incompetent, but her husband's incompetent too. In the book Crisis of Character, Gary Burns talks about Bill Clinton had lost the nuclear launch codes because he had the launch codes taped to some credit cards and a wad of cash. He misplaced it and lost them. We are talking about incompetence at the highest levels, folks. Bill Clinton is even worse now than he's ever been. Hillary Clinton is really bad off. Her health is just no good. There's a poll that came out yesterday that said that only a third of voters believe Hillary is healthy enough to be president, which means 66% of the people believe that Hillary is not well enough, not healthy enough to even be a president. Let that sink in. Tell me that's not an awful poll number to look at. I mean, when her handlers wake up in the morning, they got to see numbers like that. What are you going to do? Speaking of that, speaking of numbers, let's talk about some numbers real quick. Pennsylvania, Ohio, Virginia, and Iowa. 4 really tight states. Trump's now leading in all 4 states. Looks like Trump is absolutely going to take Utah. I know Hillary in her camp about a month ago, a few weeks ago, were saying, yeah, can you believe it? Oh, that's who it was. Her campaign manager. He's got a goofy name. Mook. There it is, Mook. Thank you, Mr. Producer. Mook. Mook is spooked. That was an article today. Mook getting spooked over the debates. He's really on edge now. But Mook came out earlier and said, yeah, can you believe? Utah wasn't even in play before, but now we're talking about it like it's even possible. No, sorry, Mook. That's over with. And the Mormons know better. They know better, especially after this whole crash and burn with Glenn Beck. Oh, I'm not trying to go off on tangents. I'm just trying to get out all the information. There's a lot of stuff that came out. This is the ADD hour, if you will, folks. Just stick with me for ADD hour number 1. I'm going to be wrapping it up here pretty soon. But Glenn Beck on Monday, after Ted Cruz's endorsement of Donald Trump last Friday, Friday docu-dump of the FBI files. Friday, Ted Cruz comes out for Donald Trump. And then also on Friday, Ted Cruz's wife goes back to work for Goldman Sachs. It's a big Friday, dump it all just before the biggest debate ever in the American political world on the stage. The biggest debate to ever, possibly may even eclipse the Super Bowl. One of the breaking records Super Bowl watched. This may even be as big, if not bigger than that. Dump all that information in. Okay. So Glenn Beck, Monday morning, comes on his radio show, has a complete meltdown. Complete meltdown. Betrayed by Cruz. Cruz was, chosen by God. I prayed with him and I prayed over him. His dad prayed on him and he prayed over him. I've never known Ted Cruz to come out and be this very religious individual that now all of a sudden he's so. I'm not pointing it out. I'm not making jokes about it. I'm just saying all of a sudden Glenn Beck gets involved and goes all religious on him. I've seen people do that in network marketing, go all religious on the network marketing and really pull people in who are connected to religion, be able to pull people in and hang on to them. Like they'll stay connected to you. Yeah, I don't like that. It really makes me upset when, because I'm a Christian. My family, we're all Christian, believe in Jesus Christ. We go to church every Sunday. We talk, we pray over every dinner. I walk the walk, I talk the talk. We pray on every dinner. I pray with my kids and my wife. So we do this all the time, but I don't say that in a braggadocious way. I just say that because that's just what we do. Okay? Because of our faith, our belief, our support. Whenever we need something, we pray about it, we pray about it, we pray about it, and lo and behold, it shows up. In God's time, it'll be there. So they're praying over Cruz and laying hands on Cruz, and I'm just kind of weirded out by it because you just never heard that before. Look at Pence. Look at Mike Pence. Mike Pence in Indiana. In all his speeches, years past, all his speeches, he'll throw in a Bible verse. He'll throw in something relevant. Prayers, going to church, family man, married to the same woman, his wife, married to her for years and years and years and years. Children, raising children, and obviously they're well off. They're doing good. They've got their morals in the right place. They've got their head on straight. I mean, really good, just all around Christian family man. Mike Pence. You don't hear people talking about that, but you hear this Glenn Beck just blowing up. So Ted Cruz is out. Glenn Beck loses it, has a complete meltdown on Monday, and then says, I knew it. I should have gone with Rubio. This should have gone to Rubio. Oh, okay. So Glenn Beck's now out of the picture. Thank goodness. And the Mormons are now free to vote their conscience. So go ahead, vote your conscience. And the moral choice is Donald J. Trump. The Christian moral choice is Donald J. Trump. If you are a Christian, you believe in Christ, you morally must vote for Trump. I'm not saying vote for Trump because he prays and he does this and people are laying hands on him, because they're not. I'm just telling you right now, you've got two choices. You've got the devil, Hillary Clinton, or you got Trump, who's not. And he's willing to protect, he's already said it, he's willing to protect religious freedoms, religious rights, and he wants to remove the law in place, or whether law or executive order or the provision in place that says that a pastor on the pulpit cannot preach or talk about politics. Otherwise, the IRS can and will revoke his 501c3 license, nonprofit status. You don't see them talking about that about Muslims or Islam, Buddhists. You don't see that. It's only the Christians. It's attacking the Christians. So apparently Trump is definitely in for the Christians. He's definitely down with the Christians. You've got to be down for him. You've got to help support him. And morally, you've got to go that road. So some of the other things that happened. Oh, here's a new Donald Trump ad. That was a big thing in the here in the media in the past. Not the media, the debate, and then the media has been trying to bring this up. This whole thing that Donald Trump is a racist. He's just a racist. Jesse Jackson back in the day, and when I say back in the day, back in the 80s, sometime in the 80s, Jesse Jackson was praising Donald J. Trump and all the money and support and the financial support that he had been given to the black community. It's just tremendous. I've never seen a black leader. I don't know why they have to have leaders. They don't really need them. But I haven't seen a black leader come out and say that Hillary Clinton has been a huge support and pinnacle in this community. I don't know anybody. I know she went to Haiti and during the earthquake and helped destroy the Haitians' livelihoods even more and take millions and millions of dollars from them. I know that happened. So check this out. This is a new, and we'll call this one This Hour. This ADD Hour, we're slowing down a little bit. This ADD Hour brought to you by Donald J. Trump.
They are often the kinds of kids that are called super predators. No conscience, no empathy. We can talk about why they ended up that way, but first we have to bring them to heel.
You called out President Clinton for defending Secretary Clinton's use of the term super predator back in the 90s when she supported the crime bill. Why did you call him out?
Because it was a racist term and everybody knew it was a racist term.
No conscience.
It's a very well thought out crime bill that is both smart and tough.
No empathy.
Called black youth superpredators in 1994. Please explain the record.
Because it was a racist term and everybody knew it was a racist term.
Trump, Pence, make America great again. There has been nobody that has been more racist than Hillary Clinton. I'm telling you, folks, you go back in her past and some of the horrendous things that she has said about the Jewish community, about the black community, Hispanic community. I mean, they referred to Hispanics in emails, back and forth emails, taco bowls, the taco bowls, or something to that effect. It's just absolutely unbelievable the things that this woman says, and the race baiting and the hate. Oh, here's a sound clip. Somebody did a montage. This was right after her face plant on 9/11, where she face planted into the van. And the new chair of the DNC actually admitted on air, on CNN, that Hillary was unconscious. She said for her to come back from being unconscious was just tremendous. Yikes. Wow. So this is her first appearance back, and this was a nightmare. She was caught on green screen. She was pointing aimlessly at a background where there wasn't anybody there, and she was waving at them, clearly confused, and to a crowd of, this was at Temple University, to a crowd of, I think, a couple hundred people. It was very sad. But this is a montage of her speech. A minute and 30 seconds, or minute and 20 seconds, is a montage of her speech.
Prejudice and radically dangerous of systemic racism, harmful stereotypes, hateful supporters, racial discrimination in dark conspiracy theories, far dark reaches of the internet, the racist lie with another racist lie, bigotry, racist, white supremacist, bigot, an anti-Semitic on white supremacist, white nationalist leader of the Ku Klux Klan, anti-Semitic death threats, conspiracy theories, racist Alex Jones, racially tinged rumors. His bigotry is prejudice, a cruise missile, right-wing racial divides, conservative right, racist ideas, race-baiting ideas, anti-Muslim, anti-immigrant, anti-women.
Folks, I'm not kidding. This is still the same speech. I am not joking. This is still the same speech montage of the words that are coming out of her mouth. She is an absolute racist and race baiter. The only way that you would say this many times in a single speech is because you are riddled with hate in your heart. Hate for everybody around you.
Urging racist ideology known as the alt-right. White identity. Hardline right-wing nationalism around the world. Right-wing Nigel Farage. Anti-immigrant sentiments based on race, extreme nationalism, racial resentment, white supremacists, racists, racialists, white supremacists, white nationalists, paranoid alt-right, racist, bigotry, prejudice, diversity, prejudice, paranoia. Thank you.
That's insanity. That is insanity. How could somebody like that even be running for president of the United States? It's beyond me. Something that came up again real quick, the debate. TPP was brought up. That's a Trans-Pacific partnership. It's the deal that Obama's trying to get with all these other countries. It's a negotiation trade deal. It's a very, very awful trade deal. It will actually allow other countries around the world to sue companies in America, American companies, to sue our companies in America for potential possible future losses. I'm telling you, it's a bad negotiated deal. And so Trump brought it up last night. He also brought up the bill, the super predator bill that her husband passed in the 90s that put more black Americans in prison than ever before. It was awful. The NAFTA deal that her husband signed in awful. Just unbelievably awful. And so Trump said, Hillary, you called TPP the gold standard. No, I didn't. And I even think the moderator even came to her rescue. But check this out. This went viral right after that. You're talking about.
So it's fair to say that our economies are entwined, and we need to keep upping our game, both bilaterally and with partners across the region through agreements like the Trans-Pacific Partnership, or TPP. Australia is a critical partner. This TPP sets the gold standard in trade agreements. Critical partner. This TPP sets the gold standard in trade agreements. This TPP sets the gold standard in trade agreements.
Okay, I'm looking at the video. That looks like her, and that sounds like her. And she just said the gold standard. Did she? Folks, this woman can't stop lying. I mean, it's one lie after another, after another, after another. She just can't stop lying. It's absolutely awful. Here's another clip. This, I believe this is another Trump ad. See, this is funny. Trump is not. Hillary spent hundreds of millions of dollars on attack ads that are hateful attack ads on Trump. There's one that's been playing here in Cincinnati that a man said, "I'm a father, and I'm also a veteran, and the way that Trump talks about women, I don't want my daughters seeing or hearing that. I want my daughters to look up to a strong woman, Hillary Clinton, and I'm a vet, and Trump doesn't care about vets, so I'm voting Hillary." Like, what? It's just so sad. So those are her ads. Trump is not making attack ads per se. Trump is montaging and putting together video clips of Hillary speaking out loud. That's all he's been doing. You know what we're going to do? We're going to air all these ads, and all these ads are going to be nothing but Hillary speaking. So I mean, they're not attack ads, are they? We got one.
There's
hold on.
And then there's a standard for everybody else.
Okay. Let's start that again. Ready? All right, Mr. Producer, go ahead.
There's the Hillary standard, and then there's the standard for everybody else.
Did you hear that? I mean, you can't make this up.
There's the Hillary standard, and then there's the standard for everybody else.
What's the Hillary standard?
Well,
you were against same-sex marriage. Now you're for it. You defended President Obama's immigration policies. Now you say they're too harsh. You supported his trade deal dozens of times. You even called it the gold standard. Now, suddenly last week, you're against
unfounded, inaccurate, mean-spirited attacks with no basis in truth, reality.
We had 4 dead Americans. Was it because of a protest, or was it because of guys out for a walk one night who decided they'd go kill some Americans? What difference at this point does it make?
I have been as straightforward and honest as I could be. I did not send or receive any information that was marked classified at the time.
110 emails in 52 email chains have been determined by the owning agency to contain classified information.
Will you say anything to get elected?
And then it shows the Trump-Pence sign. It's just damning evidence of herself speaking. Every time this woman speaks, she's a train wreck. Folks, I don't know anybody that could possibly support this woman. It's just unbelievable. And here's a sound clip from the debate about a Trump going off on Hillary about when you were Secretary of State. So let's play that one.
In this vacuum created by Barack Obama and Secretary Clinton, and believe me, you were the ones that took out the troops. Not only that, you named the day. They couldn't believe it. They sat back probably and said, I can't believe it. They said, no, wait a minute.
We've covered
when they formed, this is something that never should have happened. It should have never happened. Now, you're talking about taking out ISIS, but you were there and you were Secretary of State when it was a little infant. Now it's in over 30 countries. And you're going to stop them? I don't think so.
I mean, that was just hard-hitting. Folks, there's a lot of people on the internet that say, yeah, he didn't hit her hard enough. He didn't hit. Go back, rewatch it again. You can actually go on our website. Go to smithradio.com, and I've got the entire debate all recorded, all casted. You can also find us on Spreaker, SPREAKER.com /Radio Smith. Find us there, and you see all the last 3 years of all our shows. And obviously the debate show is just a couple shows back, so it won't be hard to find. It's right there. But go back and listen to the debate. It is not hard to see. He really did hit her hard. There is no question about it. Now, check this out. It's going to get even worse for her. No doubt. Believe me, you. Listen to me now. The second debate that's coming up, Trump is going to start to lay out more of the facts, more of the information, more of the stuff that they didn't want to touch in this debate. They didn't want to touch immigration. They didn't want to touch border security. They didn't want to touch any of this stuff. But they wanted to spend, at a 90 minutes, they wanted to take up all the time trying to smear Trump on some tax issues and release your taxes and keep beating that, hammer that down over and over and over again. Man, you guys got to get on. We need to get to some issues. Didn't talk about email scandals. Didn't talk about the IRS. Didn't talk about the FBI. Didn't talk about any of this stuff whatsoever. And we reported here on Smyth Radio a couple of weeks ago that James Comey, the FBI, in the tank for Hillary Clinton. He's got deep ties to the Clinton Foundation. His brother has ties to the Clinton Foundation. And apparently last night he had a meltdown, he had a breakdown, and said that he's very, very, very sorry he wasn't able to stop any kind of terror. He's all upset. All right, Comey, I'm done with you. And the head of the DHS, Department of Homeland Security, Jason Chavez, is going after him, looking for an impeachment. These people need to be brought down. Loretta Lynch needs to be brought down. James Comey needs to be brought down. We need to have a law and order candidate. And that was actually trending there for a while. Law and order candidate. Law and order. That's what we need, is law and order. Donald Trump's getting all kinds of endorsements. Got endorsements from the Border Patrol, ICE, Immigration, Customs Enforcement. It's never endorsed a candidate. I think they've never endorsed a candidate because they're still under the name ICE, ICE. It's kind of a new name. I'm going to throw out the facts to you. I'll let you know. The acronym ICE and may be referred to as a new organization, if you will, and they may not have had the chance to endorse anybody. However, that means if they've never endorsed anybody and they just formed, Donald Trump is the first one they've endorsed. So there you go. That's kudos. ICE has endorsed Trump. Police officers nationwide. The Fraternal Order of Police endorsed Trump. You've got all these endorsements. You've got endorsements from generals, high up officials in the military endorsed Trump. It's just one after another after another. All the polls that came out in the past couple of days, just unbelievable. The polls are really doing really well. Oh, and that was another thing. Wow, folks, I almost forgot. Yesterday, Donald Trump had a rally in Florida. And Hillary Clinton had a rally in North Carolina. Donald Trump's rally in Florida, 15,000 people in attendance. 15,000 people in attendance. 12,000 were outside and couldn't get in. It's too full. Yes. I'm not kidding, folks. 27,000 people showed up to a Trump event. Hillary Clinton in North Carolina, if you go to Getty Images, because apparently Getty was on the ground shooting photos of Hillary and her situation there, it's not good. I put it up there, and someone had made a comment and said that it was less than 500. I'll give her the benefit of the doubt and say it was probably less than, I'd say it's less than 1,000. You could clearly see. Oh, my goodness. Fastest hour in radio you're going to spend anywhere, folks. SmithRadio.com, giving it to you honest, giving it to you up front, and giving it to you early in the morning on the Morning Report. 40 days and 17 hours counting down. Is that what it is? Yep. 40 days, 17 hours, 24 minutes, and 58 seconds to
with
the president.
unfathomable power.
What kind of power?
Unfathomable. It's without fathom.
You and I have a rendezvous with destiny.